So quiet quitting. I don't really like that word quiet quitting. That seems to me like some type of boomer statement where people say, back in my days, we used to work 80 hours a week. We used to call women in the office toots and we smoked cigarettes all day in the office. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I don't know about this quiet quitting thing. To me, I feel like most people are realizing that this goal that you guys want me to reach is unattainable. They're realizing they don't want to sacrifice so much to get to that point. So what do you guys think of quiet quitting? Do you think that's a real legitimate thing people are actually quitting? Or do you think people just recognizing, this corporate life is not something I really want, and hey, you hired me to do a specific task, I'm gonna just do what I want to do. I'm just gonna do what you asked me to do and not go above and beyond. What do you guys think? Now, there's a CNBC video that I wanna comment about that discusses the very, very topic. And I think it's really interesting because this quiet quitting thing, to be honest with you, it's been around forever. But why is it now such a big deal? But before I start the video, I would love it if you quietly click on the like, subscribe, and the comment. Please don't quit on me, guys. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and with your help, I will certainly get there. Let's get straight to the video. Peace. Okay, now that was funny, but is that quiet quitting? Is saying at 5 o'clock is my cutoff time and I'm leaving. What's so bad about that? Now, the guy got balls. He basically responded back saying, yeah, hey, past 5 o'clock, I don't work. I won't say that. I would just act like, hey, I'm sorry, I just went home for the day, so I didn't get to see a message. But I don't see anything wrong with that. If you have obligations outside of work, the office needs to respect the fact that you have a life outside of work. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it.
Does anybody want to work anymore?
Then the mainstream media began covering it.
Like working overtime? No thanks. Late night emails? Ignore those.
Quiet quitting is a really bad idea. If you're a quiet quitter, you're not working for me.
Did Kevin O'Leary sound like he's just doing like an ad? If you're quiet quitting, you're not for me. And to be very honest with you, I agree. This is the thing I have when it comes to quiet quitting. The expectation of the company needs to match the expectation of the employee, and it needs to work both ways. If you're gonna work for someone like Kevin O'Leary or some type of finance, sales, heavy working hour jobs, you know your expectations. So you cannot just quiet quit. You cannot coast. It's impossible. First of all, the moment you try, you'll get fired. But you cannot complain about this job is too hard. You knew what you were signing up for. Now, it's gonna be difficult. I get it. I know it's gonna be hard, and you might wanna try it and recognize it doesn't work. So don't just quietly quit. Just quit and recognize I tried and it wasn't for me. But the problem is a lot of these companies out there are not honest. They want to tell you everything is all great. We don't work long hours, everything's perfect. Then when you get there, you recognize things are not going the way that you thought. And now things are a lot more difficult. And you recognize no one respects your time. They want to call you on odd hours. They want to send you all these emails. And now you're recognizing, I want out. I still think you should quit. But there's some places where they tell you work 40 hours a week, everything's great, and that's usually how it is. And then they start giving you more and more workload, and they want you to stay late when you don't need to. It's an option. And they tell you as well, it's an option. You don't need to take it. To me, that's not quiet quitting. To me, if they ask, hey, can you work this week? And you say no, or you just try to not raise your hand as much for projects, it's not quiet quitting. Really? I mean, you're just not that ambitious. Maybe there's a manager you're seeing that is stressed out and you do not want to follow that career path. Maybe you did at first until you've seen how difficult it is, how much you have to give up, and you decide, ooh, you know what? I don't want to become a manager no more. I'm just cool becoming a junior accountant or becoming whatever position I'm in right now and just get my job done and go home and not have those responsibilities. That to me is not quiet quitting. That to me is realizing that your career path is not the path that you thought it was.
The world is changing and the way of work is changing. Even people saying, I'm not going back to the office. And if I do, I'm definitely quiet quitting until I find a job that is a lot more flexible.
COVID was the ultimate reset. COVID was that moment where people started to ask a bigger question. What do I want for my life? Do I want to continue working the way that I have? Or do I want something different? Do I want to continue to work, which is awesome, but do I also want to be able to enjoy my family? Do I also want to be able to enjoy my life? So I think all of these things are coming in stages, and I think quiet quitting is just the trend that's come as a result of the ultimate reset, which is COVID.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this whole work remote stuff is kind of wild. How so many people just want to work from home and they do not want to go in the office. It's a tug of war. I would think if a company would just say, you coming in, it is what it is, that's it. And they can't do nothing about it. But it seems like they're trying to accommodate, but at the same time, the working from home situation, I get it. Why not allow people to work from home? They keep on saying it's a collaboration thing and it's good for people to be around to become more productivity. But if people are saying, I don't want to be around this person, I just rather work from home, I'm more productive at home, then so be it. At least give them that option to just work from home. They're going to be in the office anyway. They're going to be disrupted. They're not going to want to participate with the team. They're going to want to be on their own. They'll probably throw their headphones on and just get to the job and just knock it out, not socialize. And that's where it kind of looks like they're quiet quitting because they don't want to be there. But they are getting the job done. And that's the dilemma a lot of companies have. They are getting the job done. They are becoming productive, but they're not going above and beyond. Should you really hurt someone that doesn't want to go above and beyond? That's the question. And I don't know the answer to that. COVID also certainly changed the whole landscape because plenty of people did not want to work from home. Believe it or not, a lot of people were pushing back on working from home, but obviously it's a pandemic, so you had to go home and work from home. But once people got a taste of working from home, seeing how productive it could be, seeing how they could go to the gym during lunch, seeing how they could sleep in a little longer, seeing how much money they were saving, not having to buy all these work clothes, they loved it. They truly loved it. If the company inconvenienced you to stay home and you accepted it, I mean, I think it's only fair to reward you back by saying, hey, you can actually work from home continually and you don't need a change. But the problem is now, people got a taste of that and they don't want to give it up.
Quiet quitting is referring to a situation where employees are making a choice to not necessarily go above and beyond what they're being asked to do. It doesn't mean that they're not doing their job, they're just not going above and beyond.
Exactly what I said. Quiet quitting to me is not going above and beyond. But why is that looked at so negatively? As I said, I feel like quiet quitting is a boomer term. It's because boomers just think that life back in the days was so hard. And it was. There were certain things that they did that really was not right. And they want the next generation to feel that same pain, to do the same things they did, to build that business catalysis. But you don't need to do that. You really don't. There's so much efficiencies right now in the workforce. You have now AI coming out, people becoming great with Excel and doing macros. There's so many things you can do now that does not allow you to do work manually. So things are way more efficient. But why do they need you to work all these crazy hours when it's not in your salary? They want you to stay. Now, work is work, okay? I'm going to work to get paid for the time that you put in. I didn't come here to volunteer my time for free for you in order to become successful. And if you're gonna do that, I gotta get a bigger piece of the pie, right? Most people want a higher pay, higher raise, because we all know inflation and the cost of living is increasing and our pay wages are not. And people are starting to recognize that and they're getting fed up. And the thing that's really unfortunate is companies are not realizing that and taking care of their employees. But right now, employees are quiet quitting. They're struggling right now with the cost of living. And the corporations are like, well, not my problem. I need you to come in on Saturday. I need you to work late hours. I need you to do all these things. Why? Because we need to build revenue for our department. We need to hit our budget. We need. What about us? We need to.
In the US, quiet quitting could also be a backlash to hustle culture, the 24/7 startup grind popularized by figures like Gary Vee and others.
I certainly agree that the hustle culture has a lot to do with this, because nowadays really one source of income is not enough. You need 2 or 3 or 4 sources of incomes in order to receive this financial independence, the whole FIRE movement, where you could just work now, later on don't work anymore, get as much done in a small little window. The problem with these people are they make it seem like it's so bad to have a career, have a 9-to-5 job. Some people have a great job, they appreciate their job, and they want to do just enough to move up the corporate ladder, and that's it. But there's other people out there are telling you what you're doing is horrible. What you're doing is dumb. You could do this and make 4 to 5 times the amount of money you make now. And that is the issue. That's a big conflict, and a lot of people are struggling when it comes to that.
People that shut down their laptop at 5 want that balance in life, want to go to the soccer game, 9 to 5 only, they don't work for me. I can tell you that.
There goes Kevin O'Leary again. But as I said, the man is telling you up front, if you want to do that, it's not going to happen here. Don't even expect getting hired here. It's not going to make it. But of course, there's some job fields just like that, like being a surgeon, a doctor. Of course, you can't just turn your laptop off and say, don't bother calling me. I'm not doing surgery no more. I'm done. I'm out here barbecuing, whatever the case. That's not how it works, and we understand that. So guys out there, please let me know what you think about this quiet quitting. Is it truly quiet quitting? Or is it just because we're just tired of corporate bullshit, tired of corporate greed, tired of doing all these things and not getting rewarded? Whether it comes to favoritism, there's all these things that happen in corporate America that we're all getting sick and tired of. And the number one thing, of course, is the increase in wages. It's out there. Inflation is really, really high, and it's making it extremely difficult for a lot of millennials, a lot of Gen Zs to buy a home, to do all these things in life because they're not making enough, and they're being told you need to work as hard as possible to get to somewhere that they think is not reachable. That's hard. That's really tough sell to tell someone you work hard, you get this house, when nowadays hardly anyone could get that house. It seems very, very, very difficult. The mountain is getting higher and higher for most people out there, and the pay is not moving. That's the problem.